Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to TPIsoftware's April webinar. My name is Peggy, and I'll be the host of this event. OpenAPI has emerged as a disruptive power in many industries. According to the market research, the global API management market size will grow to $8.2 billion in 2027. The BFSI industry vertical is expected to have the largest market size, as businesses in this vertical are using API management solutions as an efficient approach to their digital operations. So today our webinar will talk about OpenAPI and open economy and see how APIs unlock the opportunities. Let me introduce our speaker, Yiling, today. Yiling is our business strategy manager, and she has extensive work experience in API and related project and product management. For the next hour, Yiling will go through the basic concepts of OpenAPI and further share some insights into the market trends and future of OpenAPI ecosystem. At the end of this webinar, we will have a Q&A session, so please feel free to send your questions anytime by using the chat box on your right-hand corner of your screen. Now let's welcome our speaker, Yiling.
Okay, thank you, Peggy. And hi, everyone. Welcome to today's TPI webinar. I'm the speaker for today's webinar, Yiling. And today we will be focusing on the trend of OpenAPI and see how OpenAPI unlocks business opportunity. And if you want to open your API, what you should know when making your API public. So, okay, let's get started. And this is the agenda for today. We will start from an introduction to OpenAPI first, and then we will look into why OpenAPI is on the rise and what advantage it can bring to you or to overall organizations. And after that, I will talk about what you should prepare and how to get ready to unlock your OpenAPI opportunity. And finally, I will give you some idea of how industry leverage OpenAPI to create an API economy. So now let's start with the introduction to OpenAPI. And before talking about OpenAPI, let's talk about API first. And what is API? API is application programming interface. So it is an interface between multiple software and applications, especially for backend and front-end connection. For example, your mobile app and to connect to the backend server. So let's picture this. A company have a backend server and a front-end app. So how do these two systems communicate? Well, an option is that you can write all information on the two systems, like which server that the front end should contact to, but this makes your data exposed to public, which means it's not safe, because everyone can view the source code from the front end device. Like you can check the source code on Chrome browser, and this also shows where you locate your information. Your important message is, and that also includes hackers, because hackers can check everything from the front-end device as well. So that's why we need an API to serve as an interface to communicate between those two systems. And with this way, the front-end just need to call the API, and then the API do the data transmission task. So your data is more secured since it's not exposed on the front-end device. So as we just mentioned, that API basically requests and delivers data between multiple systems like your backend and front-end. So the way of how to use the data will be more diverse. And now let's see how API can help. The first benefit is easy and better integration, because API can integrate different applications as well as share information to different ones. For example, you can use the same API to link to your mobile app or a web or even the kiosk to your backend system without developing 3 individual APIs. And the second one is to improve service. For example, when the update is required, you can just update the API instead of the apps, and the end user won't suffer any interruption while they are using your apps or your services. And nowadays, many companies are on their way towards digital transformation. So APIs are essential since they are enable companies to have more like a innovative business model and service applications. And the last one, but not the least one, is to save your cost, of course. As we mentioned, that you can use one API to integrate different applications or platforms and to simplify the development and maintenance process. And those efficient work will save your cost. No matter in money or in time, it saves your cost. So I guess all of you have a general idea of what an API is and how it works. And now let's move on to talk about Open API. When we talk about Open API, the key word is share or public, which means you need to let organizations or users that are outside of your organization to use your API. So what is the difference between a private API and an open API? Let's take a look. A private API means that a company develops an API, and the API are only available within their organizations. So in other words, means this API is not accessible to the public or to like anyone who is outside of the organization. But on the other hand, the open API is that a company designs their services to API and share this API to external users. Here we call them TSPs, the third-party service providers. So to make good use of these APIs, let's take an example. For example, there are some e-commerce platforms such as Shopee. This is quite famous in Taiwan and in South Asia. They have made their APIs public to their merchants, such as check order status API. So their sellers can implement this API to their own order system to view their order information like order detail, sales volume, and more from the system without going to Shopee's webpage. So what's the advantage of using this API? Well, the first thing is that their seller can integrate this API into their ERP or CRM system. So they can easily manage like storage status, shipping status, customer service directly from their own system instead of going to Shopee's system and write it down and make a copy to their own system. So this saves a lot of steps. So this is why Open API is being adopted widely. And according to a report made by Quifax, the upcoming 5G generation will also lead to growing Open API industry, as more than 20 billion mobile devices are estimated to be connected to the internet in the next 2 years. And with the next 6 to 7 years, more and more companies or organizations will undergoing digital transformation, and the Open API plays an essential role in this trend. And also, with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic now, I think the use with Open API will be getting widespread as the pandemic has changed our behavior. Like usually, we were used to face-to-face contact, but now remote or online service become the new norm. In the past, like people may prefer to go to a real bank for doing some like a bank service, but now people are more likely to use the internet banking or mobile banking. So this is the impact that COVID-19 brings to us so far. So you may wonder what industries can use open APIs, and actually there is not any boundaries. That open API can be applied to, for example, financial industry, such as open banking, or to the public sector, such as open government. And this is quite big in the world as well, like in Europe, in Taiwan as well. And also industries such as healthcare, logistics can be also to use open API to provide advanced and better services to the public. And the most famous use case of open logistics called DCSA, a Digital Container Shipping Association, and is focused to facilitate digitalization in the container shipping industry, in which customers are provided with interconnected and easy-to-use shipping services to meet their business and sustainability goals. And of course, the possibility of open API are not limited to the industry mentioned above. Like I just said, you can also implement the open API to e-commerce and so on. So there are so many more ways for you to discover how you can utilize your API. So after understanding what open API is and how could it be adapted to industry, now let's talk about how to step out from private API to open API and to start to unlock our possibilities. And before you get started, there are a few things you should prepare in advance too. The first is what. For example, what API you are going to share. So I suggest that you can make a plan of what APIs or what services you are going to share first. And then who, of course, who are going to use your services or API, who are your target API audience. You must have this answer in advance. And how would you grant your API to your API client to access, and how the external app developer will see and search your APIs. And also, based on the 3 questions, you might also need to ask yourself, where? Like where you can publish your APIs, so your API audience or API clients, they can search or see your APIs. For example, a bank is going to publish 2 APIs. One is a personal bank account detail that their end user can check their account balance through this third-party app. And the other is the API of currency exchange rate that everyone can use from their financial service app. So in this case, the personal account API is made open to the TSP, but only the end customer can see their personal account detail through this app. But on the other hand, the data of currency exchange data is open to everyone. So this means although those 2 APIs are published, but since the API clients are different and the data authentication security level is different and the authorization method is different too. So before publish your APIs to externals, you need to know who your API audience are and how you will authorize your API to your API author, to your API audience. So after you have the answer to the previous slide ready, and you are ready to publish your APIs, you might also face some challenges during the open API implementation, such as standardized specification. Because there are so many API types, such as RESTful API, SOAP API, and how would you do if you have different type of API on your AP server, and you are going to publish APIs? And I guess you don't want to redevelop all of your APIs to meet the specification, right? And the second one is that you may encounter is data security. Because data security issue always exists in the cyber world. So how do we make sure that our data is secured or won't be tampered or won't be hacked or won't be stolen? This is a very important factor to take into consideration while we publish our APIs. And the last one is API management and authorization. Different from private API, to share your API to externals, you will need to manage the whole API life cycle. For example, from like the API designing, publish to the API retirement stage. There are so many things to do and to deal with for open API management. And also, each API client may have different security level or authorization method. For example, some APIs are totally public and requires no authentication and authorization. But some API have highest security level that requires API authorization and end users authentication, like the two open banking API as I just mentioned earlier. So how would you manage all the access settings and security levels? So well, you can still make an extra effort on the backend coding to solve the challenge above by yourself. But actually, you can choose a smarter way. So let's talk about it. All you to do is you can choose the right tool and that tool to solve your problem. An API management platform is the answer. But there are so many API management tools in the market. How do I make sure which one is more suitable for me? So well, when choosing the right tool, there are some points that you should know. The first thing is API authorization. Like as I just mentioned before, each API might have different security level and authorization concerns. So when you publish your API to your partners, you definitely don't want to develop an authorization mechanism item by item, like API by API by yourself. So choosing a platform that provides API authority management and client management, where you can easily gain the access of APIs to your partners, will not only save your time, but also boost up the open API process. Like TPIsoftware's DG Runner has the feature you need. Sorry, please allow me to take our own product, DG Runner, as an example. Like our own API management tool, DG Runner, is a API management solution designed and developed by TPIsoftware ourselves, which provides an easy way to use authentication and authorization. So no matter your APIs are public or authorized with API key, all can be done easily through the user-friendly interface. Okay, so besides security level should be your top priority when it comes to data privacy. An API management platform should also provide auth2 grandfather, so you don't need to worry about spending time on backend coding by yourself. And the second point is to make sure that your data is safe, of course. Publishing API doesn't mean opening a door for hackers. So how to make sure your data is protected during transmission is quite important. An ideal API management tool should support, like, for example, SSO, MTLS. Besides, you also need a data encryption mechanism to ensure that your data is hashed and protected. And well, the common method of data encryption is ZWT. So if a platform feature with the data encryption mechanism will also save you the bank coding effort too. And the next is no-code skill environment. For example, some IT personnel might not have a deep coding knowledge like me. I'm poor at coding. So choosing a tool that provides no-code skill to operate will reduce the effort of learning a new platform. for IT personnel. Like TPIsoftware's API management platform, DigiRunner provides a user-friendly interface to use. On settings like API authority settings, like JWT settings, and so on, they can be easily done with just a fingertip. So even a person without coding skill like me can get started to use quite quickly. And in addition, you should also consider improving API management efficiency too. This means you need a platform that is simple to manage all APIs. Like if the API switch to allow you to easily active API or inactivate your like unwanted API, or provides API traffic control settings, or you can set the API quota or services time based on different clients. These are the add-on value for an API management platform, and that will be perfect if those settings can be done with just a few steps. Therefore, features will make the API management even more efficient. And another key point is that the platform is able to facilitate business decision making or a more efficient IT maintenance task. Or when the issue occurs, if the relevant member can quickly get notified and take actions, is also the thing you should consider when picking an ideal API management platform. So let me take our own API management solution, DigiRunner, as an example. Like DigiRunner provides various of API statistic report that indicates which APIs are the most popular ones or which clients are using their API most often. So far, we have got many positive feedback from our customer by saying that with this report, their business strategy team is able to make a business decision more correctly and quickly than before. And besides, when there was an issue occurred, their IT can immediately take an action because he can be notified by the alert message sent directly from DigiRunner. So this has helped them to cut down the loss of service shutdown. And we are also happy that our API management solution help our customer not only to speed up the open economy progress, but also improve internal IT maintenance efficiency. So besides, you also need to consider the API lifecycle management because it's never an easy work to do. When you are evaluating an API management platform, don't forget to check if the platform can manage your APIs from the initial stage to API retirement. For example, in the beginning, like I just mentioned, we need to make a plan. So what API you are going to public, you need to inventory your API and define the API scope and the purpose. And the second one is like who are your API clients and how would you authorize your API to your clients. And besides the API authority, the permission control of the platform is also important because normally there will not be just one person to use the platform, but many. So how would you control the permission based on different person or based on different roles is also another factor you need to consider. And the third one is when we have the preparation ready, and then we need to publish or we need to register our API to the API platform. And also if the platform provides an API orchestration feature or not, for example, like you can easily orchestrate your API or you can easily generate an API by yourself. And then it goes to public. If we can publish our APIs to a place that my API client can search and see the APIs. And also, I think monitor and analysis is also important because the monitor feature helps IT personnel to do a more efficient IT maintenance work. And the analytics helps the business decision team to make a right business decision more accurately and more quickly. And then when you have some API that are no longer needed, if the API management platform can help you to quickly to drop down the API for the API retirement or not. So these are the factors you need to also consider as well. So an ideal API management tool can not only solve your problem of your API management, but will also unlock more opportunity for you. So then what are the benefits we can expect from Open API? Well, to name a few, it will help you to discover more business opportunity and expand your market, and to help you to have more innovative product or services. And also it will help you to improve customer engagement and satisfaction. And also the most important is it also help you to create additional revenue. So first, let's see how Open API bring you new business opportunity and help you expand the market and make your customer happy first. When you publish APIs, actually the service will no longer be limited to the original business model anymore. By opening your APIs means you will have more API clients. So in other words, you have more opportunity to cooperate with your potential partners who are outside of your current business model. And in most cases, a company won't just cooperate with one TSP, but more than two or many. In order to gain users to use their app, they will need to provide more attractive and competitive services or a better user experience application to the market. And they might also conduct some marketing activity to attract more users. And this application improvement and the market activity will help you with the market expansion and improve the end user's satisfaction too. So some iconic scenarios are open banking and open government. And let's take open banking as an example. So this is the banking flow that we are familiar with. Bank provides services such as like account detail, balance, paying bills, and others to end users. And the end customers directly access the services from banks. This is the bank flow we are using now, and so-called traditional banking. So how would it look like when a bank adopts Open API? First of all, the services will be designed as API, and this API will directly developed by bank as the traditional banking. But different from traditional banking, in open banking, banks provide the API to their TSPs, and the TSPs turn this API into banking services and provide them to the end customers. So the advantage for bank is that in this way, they can just focus on business logics and API development and let their TSPs to work on service application or user experience improvement. And for banks, their business will not be limited to the end market. Instead, it's open another door of new business opportunity as they can co-work with many TSPs. And also for TSPs, because they need end customer to use their apps. And this will also help banks with marketing expansion too. And also for customers like you and me, we will have more options of banking service app And the most important thing is we don't need to install so many banking apps. Instead, we only need to install one, and we can access all of our bank accounts altogether just in one app. So in this case, if you have an API management tool, you can centralize and manage all these APIs in one platform and set up different authorization methods to your TSPs. And I think this will make your open API work easier and quicker. So let me give you more information about open banking. According to Allied Market Research, the market size of global open banking reached 7.3 billion in 2018 and is estimated to reach 43.1 billion in 2026 with a CAGR of 24.4%. So open banking originated from the Revised Payment Service Directive PSD2 conducted by European Union in 2015. In August the next year, the government of UK asked their top 9 banks in the UK to start to adopt open banking, and this regulation came into effect in 2018. And meanwhile, this trend is also spread to other countries such as USA, Australia, Singapore, and Taiwan. So Taiwan can be seen one of the open banking pioneer that has developed its open banking system very early in Asia. In 2019, Taiwan's open banking regulation has been launched, and the implementation plan of open banking is divided into 3 phases, which are phase 1 is for public information, such as currency, exchange rate, mortgage rate. Those information doesn't require personal information, was be planned to the phase 1. And then phase 2 is personal information, such as account balance inquiry and credit card bill inquiry. Those API or those information require our personal data. And the last phase is phase 3, is open of information like payments and transaction data. So the APIs for phase 3 always requires a higher security level because it's regarded to our personal data, and also there are some transactions. So this requires the higher security level. And actually, I'm happy that our own API management solution, DigiRunner, is certified as a part of the open banking evolution in Taiwan, because actually I'm going to attend an innovative software product awards ceremony tomorrow, because our DigiRunner has been awarded as the most innovative software product tomorrow. So I'm happy for that. And actually, DigiRunner is compliant with the open banking regulation of all phases in Taiwan, and it has been widely implemented in Taiwan's bank to help the banks to ease the pain of open banking adoption and to speed up the open banking progress too. So let's go back to the benefit for open banking, for open API again. So besides new business opportunities and market expansion and improvement of your customer engagement, open API can also lead to more innovative solutions and create additional revenue. And actually, applications of API can vary. Services of an API can be presented in different ways. For example, a bus schedule API cannot be presented as a timetable. That's boring, and I guess this is not most people want. So by combining with another API, such as bus station information API and a map API, the services can be presented in a totally different way, like a bus tracking app with the estimated arrival time. And we have got so many positive feedback from our customer by saying like they have used our DigiRunner API Composer to combine different APIs to provide more creative services to their customers. And according to their feedback, they can easily develop a new API, even though they don't have deep coding skill. And with the API Composer, what they need to do is to drag and drop the built-in functional, and that's all. So what else can you do with your APIs? Well, the answer is to make additional revenue. Because like sharing API doesn't mean sharing for free. So actually you can charge your open APIs to your API audience, which means that open API will also bring additional revenue and open the door of new business model as well. So are you interested in publishing your API to external users now? Or do you have any idea of how you can leverage the open API to your product or services yet? Like as I just mentioned, open API brings a new wave of innovative business model, and it seems that open banking and open government are leading the wave. And or we can say that they are the presenter of open API implementation. But by publishing your APIs, you are able to expand your business outward and have a broader vision too. But this is why more and more companies and industries are eager to embrace the open API, since they see the benefit and the prospects ahead. But publish your APIs doesn't mean to break the regulation and personal data privacy. It still needs to comply with the industrial or local regulation to ensure that personal data privacy is well protected. Just like the open banking example in Taiwan I just mentioned, you need to make sure your API meets the regulation of all the three phases. So before making your API open, you need to make sure that the policy and the mechanism meet the local government or industrial regulation. Once you have a suitable tool and a thoughtful plan, I think you are able to expand your business to open API ecosystem. So in the end, last but not the least, please give me some time to further introduction to our API management tool, DigiRunner. So as the top software technology and service provider in Taiwan, we always strive to help our customers unlock the future of open API economy. So our API management solution provides a robust data security mechanism that 100% compliant with open API specification and the industry regulations such as open banking, open government, and DCSA, the open logistics. Our goal is to help our customers to create a comprehensive open API ecosystem and to provide more convenient services and innovative product to people all over the world. So DigiRunner was designed and developed to let our users to do most settings with just one fingertip or just one click. It provides powerful features such as API registry. So whether your APIs are RESTful API or SOAP API or in any other format, as long as they are web API, you can register them onto DigiRunner and let DigiRunner to do the API process for you. And it also provides an easy way to manage your APIs. For example, you can make a JWT setting on selected APIs or you can set up API quota, or you can choose the authorization method, such as public authorized by API key, or grant with auth to flow. And these settings can be done without any complicated steps, just with one fingertip. And with DigiRunner API Composer, like our users can design and create creative and comprehensive services by just dragging and dropping the billing function now, like the bus tracking case, like I just mentioned. So this allows like our user to create an API quickly, like me. Like actually, I have poor coding skill and knowledge, but with this API Composer, I can develop an easy API by myself too. And this made me a little bit confident. And the DigiRunner also provides a platform access control. So you can manage the platform permission to secure the internal data privacy. And the platform access is raw and hierarchical based, because we know that in large and medium-sized organizations, such as banks or government, they are often more than two API development units, and there might be lots of users to access the platform. So DigiRunner can centrally manage all of your APIs, but separate the permission based on different roles and groups. So this sounds very attractive and very useful. And besides, DigiRunner provides various API statistical and analysis reports, such as API calls and API trend chart to show you which APIs are the most popular ones. And with this data, you can effortlessly to make a business decision that is more spot on and efficient. And finally, DigiRunner also provides monitoring and alert function. The monitoring dashboard tells you the status of DigiRunner server and components. And you can also set up a threshold by yourself. So when the event meets the condition, the alert will be triggered, and a notification will be sent to the relevant personnel. So if you are planning to open your APIs, I think DigiRunner can be a good tool and also your good partner to your open API, open economy too. So, okay, I think this is pretty much for today's webinar. And I will now hand over to my colleague, Peggy.
Thank you very much, Yiling, for this amazing presentation. I hope you will enjoy this presentation and have learned more about how we can embrace the open API economy. Now we're going to have a Q&A session to answer some questions we've collected from the registration forms. Please stay tuned till the end of the webinar. I'll read out the questions on behalf of our attendees, and our speaker Yiling will answer them. So the first question is, if I want to change my private API to open API, do I need to rewrite the original API or the related programs?
Actually, in normal case, I would say not, because you just make your API from private to open. But I think you will need open API document. So like your API client will know what specification they need to follow, so they can call your API more smoothly. Okay.
Hey, thank you, Yiling. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Please give us some case if we would like to use API between banking and insurance.
Actually, this is for banking and insurance. There's somehow they are connected. So if you open your API to bank and insurance, it depends on how you utilize your API. So if you are interested, I think I can find some case for you, and we can provide like later on.
Hey, thank you, Yiling. So the next question is, could you share how long it will take for a business model adopting Open API to see benefits or profits?
I think actually there is no certain answer for this because it really depends on how well you prepare for this. Like the slide I just mentioned, you need to make a plan of what, who, how, and where. So once you have this plan, I think you can see your Open API benefits sooner. But if you don't have any plan, you just want to open API, then I think that take a long time to see the benefit. But also, I think if you can choose a decent API management tool, that will be definitely help you to speed up your pace because you can save lots of time on API management and backend coding effort and API policy settings.
Hey, thank you, Yiling. So our next question is, I don't understand how Open API will have an impact on healthcare. Can you elaborate more?
Let me take an example. Last week, I went to see a doctor for some a physical issue, and the doctor asked me if I have done any a physical exam. So at that time, how would you do if the doctor asks you if you have any a physical exam report? So actually, I had a digital file on my mobile phone. So I found the file and opened the file to the doctor. But how about if you don't have a digital file? You just have in a paper format and you didn't bring it with you. But with the Open API connect to healthcare, actually the physical examination organization, they can share this kind of API to the clinic or hospital. So the doctor, they can easily check my physical exam report from their system instead of asking me to show them. But of course, if they request my data, they need my permission to check my report for sure. But in this case, I think this is the benefit of using Open API because I don't need to bring my physical exam report. Instead, the doctor can easily check on their computer. And I think they can regard my exam report record, they can make a more accurate diagnosis as well.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, in most cases, for how many APIs which are open to external users do we need DigiRunner?
Well, I think no matter how many APIs you have, I suggest you can consider implementing an API management tool. But if you only have 3, then I think you can manage by yourself. But I think it also depends on if the API is totally public or it requires some authorization or authentication. For example, if you only have a few APIs and they are all public, and I think you can just manage by yourself. Or we have a free version of DigiRunner called DigiRunner Express. I think you can also consider to that DigiRunner Express to help you. But if you have more than, for example, 5 or 10 API, and you have many API clients, and they all need to do various API authentication and authorization settings. So in this case, I suggest maybe you should consider to implement the API management platform to help you. Yeah.
Okay. Our next question is, can you share some more examples of the TSP application that leverage banking Open API?
Actually, this is quite easy to picture this. You can just imagine that you have, like me, like I have 5 accounts in 5 different banks. So when I'm going to check my account balance or access like a banking service, like I want to transfer money, I usually I need to install 5 bank apps on my mobile phone. And when I'm doing the a money transfer, I need to do from the app A and then open and transfer money to the bank B, and then I open the bank B's app to check if the money is successfully transferred or not. But with the open banking, actually you just need to download the TSPs app, and the TS app will integrate the banks all together, which means you can check and use the banking service with just one app instead of many, like what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Thank you. And our next question is, in addition to the financial industry and public sector, are there any scenarios for other industries or more use cases of Open API?
Yes, actually, I think Open API can be adapted to such as open logistic and healthcare I just mentioned. And as we have our second question is what is the scenario that the Open API can connect to open banking and open insurance? So I can provide such as a scenario to all of you later on too. So actually, I think Open API can be adapted to a lot of industry, such as the e-commerce industry I just mentioned as well. But just remember, no matter what industry you are going to open your API, remember to follow the industrial regulation, and also you will need an open API specification so that the API client will easily to know how to connect to your API. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Based on your experience to publish the APIs to TSPs, what functions or assistance will third-party service providers need for the Open API connection?
I think it's very depends actually. If the API requires no token validation, for example, they are totally public, then your TSP, they can just call the API. But if your API requires, for example, API key or any authentication or authorization with auth2FIL, then I think they will need to have an authorization from API provider first, because they need to know what's the API key first. And then also need to know what's the auth2FIL method. They need to build into their app first. So they can also refer and decide, I think they can also refer to the API document to see how to connect to the open APIs. So in this case, I think if you have an API management tool, it will help you to do this, such as an API policy thing or API management thing as well. That will make you more efficient, and also will make your TSP to call your API or to understand to how to call your API more efficient.
Okay, one more question before we wrap up the Q&A session. Our company's APIs are developed by various departments and used by external users or other departments. We don't have a management mechanism at the moment. If I want to centralize API management, could you share with us the factors to consider or the authorization mechanisms of API and platform for large organizations or cross-department?
Well, it's a long question. So, okay. In this case, I think you can consider deploying our API management tool, DigiRunner, because it's required some organization or cross-department management. And actually, our DigiRunner is featured with organization platform organization. So you can easily set up the platform hierarchy relation based on your need. And also DG Runner is a role-based API management platform. Means you can set up a role permission to manage your platform assets on each level. So in this case, I think you can centralize all your API from different groups or departments in your company. But meanwhile, you can also separate the permission from different groups.
Okay, thank you, Ying. This is the end of our Q&A session. Okay, so that's all for today's webinar. Thank you, Ying, and thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. Before you leave, please scan this QR code or click the survey link we've just sent to the chat box to fill out the survey so that we can send you the slides and a link to today's video recording. We have lots of resources for you to explore, such as monthly newsletters that cover our events and blog articles on tech trend. Please scan to subscribe and follow us on our social media so you can stay updated for our latest news and future events. That's all for today's webinar. Don't forget to submit your survey before you leave. Once again, thank you everyone for participating. We hope to see you again next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.